Let's step away from the modern world for a second and journey back into the realm of a truly dark, ancient myth. Welcome to today's Explainer. I want us to treat our time together almost like a midnight campfire story. We're going to uncover a profound lesson on discipline, mental fortitude, and patience through the lens of a classic dramatic fable. This isn't just your standard old ghost story. It's a timeless test of what happens to the human mind when it's pushed into the terrifying unknown. Seriously, think about this for a second. What would you do if a supernatural entity offered to tell you a story to pass the time on a grueling journey, but reacting to that story, speaking even a single word, would cost you everything you'd worked for? To figure out how we arrive at this impossible scenario, we begin with the legend of King Vikram. Now, as you know, he ruled a magnificent city right on the banks of the Godavari River. Vikram was no ordinary ruler. He was universally renowned for his absolute bravery and an unwavering commitment to justice. He was a man of action, loved by his people, who's about to face a test so unimaginable it's going to push his legendary courage to the absolute breaking point. So, Section 1, A King and a Mystery. Let's look at this strange daily ritual.
The whole mystery kicks off with this bizarre, almost hypnotic daily routine. On day 1, a mysterious sage just shows up at the royal court and gifts the king a single fruit. No grand requests, no long speeches, nothing. Vikram, being the gracious host he is, accepts it and hands it over to his treasurer. But then day 2 rolls around and the sage returns with another fruit. And then day 3, day 4. For days stretching into weeks, the sage just keeps coming. Fruits are literally piling up in the royal treasury. And what's absolutely fascinating about Vikram here is his restraint. He just hands the fruits over without even questioning the sage's intentions. He basically lets the mystery play out.
This brings us to Section 2, the hidden gems. This is where we get a really dazzling reveal. It literally just takes one seemingly mundane morning to change the entire game. Vikram is holding court when he spots a monkey sitting super casually on the palace wall. On a total whim, the king takes the daily fruit gifted by the sage and tosses it over to the monkey. The monkey catches it, takes a quick bite, and suddenly, boom, a dazzling, priceless gem falls right out of the fruit and clatters onto the ground. In an instant, this quiet, slow-burning mystery violently shifts into a high-stakes revelation that forces the king into immediate action. Faced with this impossible discovery, Vikram doesn't waste a second. He orders his treasurer to pull all the accumulated fruits from storage. And, as you'd probably expect, a lot of those earlier fruits had completely rotted. But Vikram tells them, crush them anyway. And the result? It's unbelievable. Every single rotten fruit yields another precious gem. He's suddenly sitting on this treasured hoard of immense wealth. But here's the kicker. He doesn't keep a single piece of it. The generous king takes this newfound magical wealth and donates the whole shebang to the poor. He empties the treasury of these gems as fast as they appeared, zeroing his focus on a much bigger goal, confronting that sage. So the very next day, Vikram stops the sage right in his tracks. He refuses to be bought or manipulated. He looks right at him and says, "Your Holiness, can you please tell me why you have been giving me such precious gifts? Without good reason, I cannot accept any gifts from you." It's such a powerful moment. He demands to know the sage's ultimate spiritual goal. He literally needs the absolute truth before he takes even one more piece of fruit. Okay, Section 3, the Midnight Cemetery. Things take a seriously dark turn here. The sage finally lays his cards on the table, revealing his true and, quite frankly, terrifying purpose. He hands Vikram this eerie set of instructions. First, he's got to wait for the absolute darkness of a moonless night. Second, he needs to cover his head and body entirely in black cloth to stay completely unseen. Third, he has to trek 20 perilous miles, completely undetected, to a specific banyan tree out in a dark forest. And finally, the most chilling step of all, to the south of the forest, he needs to track down an old tamarind tree where a corpse will be hanging upside down. And yep, you guessed it, he has to bring that corpse back to the sage. Moving on to Section 4, Capturing the Ghost. This is the ultimate graveyard test. So arriving at this gnarly old tamarind tree in the pitch-black forest, Vikram doesn't even hesitate. He shins right up there and cuts the bizarre upside-down corpse loose. But the second it falls, just imagine the sensory shock here. The corpse hits the dirt and instantly bursts into this loud, cackling laugh. It's in this terrifying, blood-chilling split second that the king realizes he hasn't just found a dead body. Oh no, he is dealing with a living, breathing ghost. Now, the courageous king doesn't run away, not a chance. He hoists this cackling body right up over his shoulders and starts marching back to his capital. But just a short distance later, the ghost suddenly slips away and zip, it escapes right back to its branch. Does Vikram give up? Absolutely not. He marches right back, climbs that tamarind tree all over again, yanks the ghost down, and stubbornly throws it right back onto his shoulders. It's an intense physical struggle with the supernatural. He's taking it step by step, utterly determined to capture this elusive spirit and make good on his promise. And that's when the ghost finally introduces itself. It leans in and whispers to the king, "I am Betaal. Why and where are you taking me away?" Betaal really starts to tower over the narrative here with his eerie, all-knowing presence. You see, he isn't fighting the king physically anymore. Instead, he's questioning the mission. He's probing Vikram's mind, just looking for any kind of weakness. Which leads us to Section 5, the test of silence. This is the final act.
Vikram calmly explains to Betaal that a sage requested he bring the ghost to him. And surprisingly, Betaal doesn't really object to tagging along. But Betaal lays down this absolute non-negotiable condition. He tells the king, "We have a long distance to cover, and to relieve the tedious walk, I'm going to tell you a story. But here is the massive catch. You should not utter even one word till we reach the destination. If by chance you utter anything, I will fly back to the tamarind tree." Just like that, with a few simple words, Betaal completely transforms a simple, albeit super creepy, walk through the woods into an agonizing mental trial.
And this, right here, is what Vikram is actually up against. It's not just the physical test of carrying a heavy, cackling ghost 20 miles through a pitch-black forest. I mean, Vikram already proved he could handle that without breaking a sweat. It's a mental test. It's about enduring this grueling walk while a master manipulator spins a captivating, provocative story right into your ear, and knowing you literally cannot utter a single word in response. This myth drops a massive lesson on us. Sure, physical bravery is impressive, but the true challenge of character, the ultimate test for a ruler, or really anyone seeking greatness, is mental restraint, laser focus, and total self-discipline when you're faced with immense distraction.
So, as King Vikram steps into the dark, listening to Betaal's provocations, I want you to ask yourself, if you were carrying that ghost in the dead of night, and it started spinning a tale designed specifically to make you react, to make you angry, or to make you correct a falsehood, could you walk in total silence? Or would your lack of discipline cause the ghost to escape, forcing you to start all over again? It's a fascinating question about how well we really control our own minds, isn't it? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.